I'm gonna call you.
Yo,
Hi, Rabstar. 1 second.
hello.
Okay. Now, first of all, do you have VODs that you want to look at?
I think I have
It's
VODs. I don't know if
okay.
they're worth looking at though.
Okay. Uh, 1 second.
Let me see if I can find them. Do you ever have days, by the way, where you're like, you feel as if you've literally forgotten how to play the game? Like everything. Not everything, but like, you know what I mean? Like your hands aren't working. A lot of things you're just like missing out on. Like very
Yes,
basic things.
yes.
And
So
you're like, how
something
is this happening?
something that happened a couple days ago is you might have something like this happen. Is that I looked at my monitor and it looked weird. Like I couldn't see I couldn't see things appearing on my screen as clearly as I normally feel like I do. So I like messed with some audio, messed with some like visual settings on my monitor, played a couple like warm up games until it felt like reasonable again, where I was like processing what was happening on my screen. Uh, but if that happens, think about why it's happening. Okay. Let me write this down. We're gonna do notes with everything that we're talking about here. We're gonna write stuff down so that you have a just like a written record, but also things that you need to focus on and improve on. Okay.
Okay.
I need to get Notepad++. Okay.
What's that?
So the first thing, were you just like mentioning this, or is this a problem that you have that you feel like some days you're way
Oh,
worse than other days?
usually I'll like play really well, and then like for like a week I'll play really well, and then for 2 or 3 days, just like randomly, I'll forget everything, and I'm going 0-10 every game. And
Okay.
even if I'm like fully focused, like I feel like I'm in it. When as soon as I play, I'm just forgetting about like support cooldowns or whatever where jungle is or something super basic stuff, and then I'll like try and click. Like for example, literally the other day, like yesterday, I had a really bad day. Um, I don't know why, like in game. And then I tried autoing enemy under tower as Jin like 3 times, and I hit the
hmm
tower three
Yeah.
times on fourth shot, and I'm like, how is this happening?
hmm Okay. Yes, I have had stuff like this happen to me a lot, and it has pushed me to like normalize a lot of things about my setup and how my mouse moves and how like I sit so that I can like account for a lot of variables because every time that something like this happens to me, what I'll try to do like I guess you could say it's like a sanity check, right? But it's really checking like your surroundings, like your physical surroundings and your mental surroundings. So the first thing I'll do is I'll look at all of my physical surroundings that I'm interacting with. So like so check physical surroundings. This is like, is there something wrong with my monitor? Is there something wrong with my desk? Is there something wrong with my keyboard? Is there something wrong with my mouse? Is there something wrong with my mouse pad? Is there something wrong with how I'm sitting? Is there something wrong with my chair? Is there something wrong with the room? Is it like go through everything that could affect how you're playing so that you try to account for as many variables physically as possible so that you can play the same as you feel like you should. Uh, Sometimes what happens to me, this is another thing you would have to look for, but there's like a million specific examples of this. If you have moisture get into the room, the moisture will get into your mouse pad and you'll move your mouse differently than on a day where it's completely dry outside. Now, this doesn't mean to never open your windows, which for me for a while it was to never open my windows, but it was to check that because if I open my windows and a bunch of moisture gets in, I have to clean my mouse pad or I'm going to like play differently. So this is like I go through
Do
a
you think
lot of
these like
checks.
tiny things can actually like make a like such a big difference? Like where you're literally like, what's going on? Like you're literally like, if it doesn't feel the same, like the same game as you were playing like yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. Where like my mouse, instead of feeling like my hand instead of feeling like I can just move my mouse to where I want it, it's like I'm feeling every finger on my hand move my mouse, right? Where it feels so uncomfortable and I'm really not focused. Because something feels like a little bit different. And I'm sure, I think this is kind of what you're describing, is that a couple things feel a little bit off, and then you don't feel like you're able to play at the same level after that,
And
right?
it looks really bad. Like it feels like there's a few things that are off, but when you look at like end game, end screen score or whatever, you're like 0-7 or like 1-8, and it's like where, like, and it feels like so much worse than
Mhm.
the other day that you were playing.
Yeah. If anything
Yeah.
changes about your physical surroundings, this can affect Effect.
You
This
think
can
burnout
affect
also does this?
how you play the game. Okay, well, we'll talk about burnout because burnout is a little bit more on the mental side of things. I'm not a doctor or like a specialist here. I'm just telling you I'm telling you my experience with this and what I did to make it better. Okay,
Yeah.
that if I play too much, exactly what happens. So this is for burnout specifically, but like the next thing I was gonna write down is like your mental surroundings or your mental quality going into a game. Um, hmm. Okay, I need a little bit more information from you. What do you mean when you say burnout?
Uh, so for example, if I'm playing like 15 games a day for like a week, uh, and then I reach like, let's say I'm like on the cusp of like Grandmaster, my brain's like, okay, I won like 15 games, like I won like 10 out of my 12 games today or something, or like 13 out of my 15 games or something like this, right? I'm like, okay, I'll get like challenger, or I'll get like, you know, top 100 really fast, or something like this, right?
Mhm.
And then in my head, I think that might like make it a bit, what's the word? It might make me a bit complacent. So then,
Mhm.
uh, after like 2 games of like people like, like where your team just goes 0-7, you're
Yeah.
just like, okay, I can't play, and then you just start flipping every game, level 1, level 2, and then you go down like 500 LP,
Uh-huh.
and then you get stuck.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so just to just so I'm like understanding what you're trying to like the experience you're trying to give to me is sometimes if you go into a day, like let's say you go into a day with good intentions, right? And you play a couple
Mhm.
of games and let's say your team loses, but you're like 5-0 and your team loses and it's like, okay, I can't win that game. If that happens a couple of times, you're saying that it kind of wears out on you or wears you down and then you
Yeah, I
start
think
flipping
so.
games. Okay.
Yeah, or if you're like, okay, I'm playing well, I'll just get this in no time, whatever goal, and then it doesn't pan out as easily as you expected it,
Okay.
because maybe you started taking it easy, and then it just gets way harder than you ever thought it could get. And then you're like, I was just playing in these games, and I was stomping the same people like
Hmm. In the
three
same
days in a
day.
row.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And now all of a sudden, I feel like I'm completely out of my depth.
Okay. Interesting. Now,
It's legit not normal.
what I would go through with you if something like this was happening is I would go through the intentions that you bring into a game. So if you
Yeah.
I think what could be happening, this is a guess, I'm not 100% sure right now. I think what could be happening is that you're going into these games trying to win them primarily, and then when you do well in a couple of the games, but then you lose, it can feel really fast, feel really quick, like within a couple hours, basically. Like the games are out of your control, and in a way to try to regain control over those games, you'll try to you'll do more things, but in the end probably make lower quality decisions. But what you said you were like
100%.
flipping games. You said
But
you ended
even
up flipping them.
regardless of if I win those games or not, like if the games are just like kind of going easy,
Uh huh.
after like 3 or 4 games, if I've won them, then it's like, okay, now I can just kind of breeze past these people.
Got
I
it.
can flip the game
Got it.
level 1.
Got it.
Like, when you play in silver, for example,
Yep.
it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna stomp them anyway. So
Yes.
if I have like 3 or 4 games where I'm like stomping enemy, I'll be like, okay, this is a breeze, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden, yeah, it's not, and then PG.
Okay. I've heard this a few times from a few different people, and I found this happen in myself too. I think I have a kind of an answer for you, but it's not super satisfying or super easy to implement. Uh,
Yeah.
the the thing you have to do to make your interaction with solo queue better and more consistent in this way is your primary goal in solo queue cannot be winning. If this is your primary goal, you'll run into like two problems. One, when you lose games where you feel like you play well or where you really do play well, the game will feel really unsatisfying to play and it will feel like you're not in control of completing your goals. It feels very bad if your goal is
Exactly.
to win and then you're not in control of that.
Yes.
Uh,
Especially if you play AD.
and
If I
then
play jungle, yeah. Okay,
and then
sorry.
if you win, it doesn't matter how you win. And that means that I imagine you sometimes feel like you play very poorly, but you just win. And you said something about feeling complacent if you win
Yeah.
a few games, right?
Even if
So
you win, you're like, oh, these people are like bad, so it doesn't matter. And then
so
you're just like, okay, for the next 10
yes,
games, I should just go 20-0. And then when
yes,
that doesn't happen, it's like, why am I not 20-0? And then you start griefing.
because
Or I start griefing.
the focus
It's on winning.
is on winning. I think
Yes.
this has to be your secondary focus. This has to be the goal that sits behind your actual goal. And your goal has to be a specific intention on something that you want to improve. So you have to go into a solo queue game with a specific idea of something that you want to do better. And I think only then will the game feel like really satisfying to play, regardless of if you win or lose, because now you're actually in control of completing the goal that you set out to complete. So it will feel much more satisfying to you, or it might feel dissatisfying, but in a way that you have control over. Because let's say you queue up for a game and your intention is to play lane really well, but then you go 0-10 5 games, right? You get a little bit better feedback here because you're trying to improve your laning, and those games, although they were losses, are steps toward a goal of improving your laning phase. Instead of it feeling like, well, my goal is to win and climb the ladder, and now all I did is take 5 steps backwards from when I woke up this morning, so now you feel like you're worthless. Does
Worse
that
than
make sense?
worthless. But yes, I agree. But the thing is, how do you? So I've tried this, right? I'm like, okay, my goal today is I'm gonna get like super high CS numbers, like 9 to 10 plus minimum,
Okay.
right? I'll do that
Okay.
for like 2 games, and then after that, I'm like, okay, well, this didn't help me win. Win. Fuck. Okay, maybe the goal wasn't to like you have to like stay very true to like that goal of not caring about the outcome, even if your goal is to play well. If
Mm.
that makes sense.
Mm.
Um. So
Okay.
then,
We also need really
how do you?
specific goals. Okay.
Yes, exactly. It's like, how do you make those goals? Or like, how
Okay.
do you come to those goals?
Well,
Because you could do a million things. Oh, I can just try and win lane. Oh, I can CS well. I can not die. But these are like kind of vague, maybe? Or
yep.
is it better to be vague?
Well,
I don't
start
know.
vague. Start vague and then get to something really specific. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get to it. So let's start with something like relatively vague. What's something that you do want to work on, but you feel like might not be quite like fleshed out enough to be a good goal? I just use laning as an example, but do you want to, like you said, a goal was to get like high CS numbers, right? We can
No,
break this
okay, wait.
down.
So not CS, for example, not dying.
Okay, okay,
But then
not
it would
dying.
break down to how are you dying usually?
Yeah.
Or
So
like at what times are you dying? Laning or like mid game
sorry,
or like
I'm gonna.
yeah.
Okay, so let's focus on not dying. Okay, so in order for you to focus on not dying, now we have a problem, and we're trying to solve this problem by setting an intention in the game. So you have to look at the times where you do die. So let's say that we don't have any games to look at, because right now we don't have any games to look at in front of us. What I would tell you is go play like 3 or 4 games, and every time you die in any of those games, just have it somewhere. Like do you have like Outplayed, something like that, where you can like save all your deaths and just have it like really easy to pull up. If you play,
Good.
I don't
Yeah.
think you need to play 3 or 4 games. I think you can do this with like just a couple. 3 or 4 is just like a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
sample size. And
Mhm.
after you play those games, you look through all of your deaths and you try to take notes and write things down so that you remember it on why you die in all of those games. And I think, because this happens to me all the time, I think you'll see a bunch of patterns in how you die on a day where you play a bunch of games. If I play 10 games, I'm gonna die the same way a few times. Because there are some things that I'm not fully aware of on that day or in the game in general, and it leaves me exposed to dying. And if I'm playing against good enough players, which I think you are, you're playing in like Grandmaster EOS, you will die because of the same mistake multiple times. And if you can find patterns like that, you're in like the best area to improve because you've recognized something in yourself that's a problem, and now we have how do we fix it? So let's work on this. So let's focus on not dying. We have to review our deaths. We have to review our deaths to decide why our deaths happen, right? Okay. Now, this part's hard because we don't have a game in front of us. So the next step would be, once you identify a pattern, we have to try to craft some sort of solution or some way of going forward from that point. But I'm
Then
asking you
it's
for a little
either
bit of help here.
yeah, but then it's
Yeah.
either like no, I literally have like VODs open, but it's either
Mhm.
like avoiding it or figuring out how to take, for example, if you die as soon as you come back to lane, then it's either don't fight or like don't get caught, or why are you getting caught, and then figure out why you're getting caught and then fix that.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
answer's okay. Oh, hold on. Let me think for 1 minute. Let
You
me.
have VODs if you want, by the way, but like, yeah, it's unlike a Smurf, so.
Do you have VODs where you
It's
die
not.
a lot?
Yeah, I die a lot every game. I can't say.
Okay, let's look at one VOD.
I usually die for like literally no reason. Wait, I'll screen share. Can you see my screen? I don't have sound on.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So like this game. Okay, I literally just opened like today's games.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
the first. Oh wait, do you want me to like find the deaths?
Oh no. I mean that was fine, but you can skip to the deaths if you want. You just running at that guy. You could have died there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The thrash was really bad, so I just kept on. Like I was respecting too much, and then I stopped respect. Oh, I think I played this like a chimp. Okay.
It's Rabstar. Fuck man.
Oh, I did. Okay. Well, I did, but it didn't matter. Wait,
It's
where
fine.
did I die?
We're looking. We're very focused on the goal we're trying to improve. So
Yeah. Okay.
we'll just start right now by looking
Yeah.
at
Literally,
deaths.
as like I came back into lane and I tried fighting V2. I could have flashed. I was like, no, it's okay. I can 1v2 them. I had one axe because I think I dropped it. I haven't played Draven for so long, so this is my excuse for having bad mechanics on him.
Okay. So we go through this process. So go back like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting on this wave? Because we have to decide
No,
if the
there's
decision
there's no
is
reason. There's no reason. I was just fighting because
okay.
literally they came close and I had item advantage, but
Okay.
I know the wave is in a good place and my Seraphine's not here yet.
Yeah. Now there's layers to this. So like here, pause here. There's layers to what you are doing right now compared to what you are thinking in that moment. So you could watch this and we could change all the nameplates so that this Draven's name is T1 Gumayushi, right? And then you could watch that and say, oh, he's fighting right now because he knows that Samira has to base with worse items, and Draven has Ravenous Hydra, so he's trying to time Seraphine returning to lane with them crashing the wave so that he can fight them and kill them so that they can't crash the wave and get the base off and spend their gold to get their items. So Draven wants to prevent that, right? You could say that. And then there's like a misjudgment of damage, or he played mechanically poorly. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got
But
you.
we look at that on the screen and then we ask ourselves, well, is that a realistic reflection of what I was doing in that game?
No, I would just brain AFK. I did this way worse, where I would kill in lane, and then I would come back and I would instantly die when they were shifting the wave, and then I would give them shutdown, and then my game's over, and then because I lost 2 waves on the way back. So then
Okay.
instead of doing that, I was like,
Fine.
okay, I'm just never ever gonna fight when the wave's coming back into me, and I
Okay.
have lead, which I don't
Okay.
know if that's the right thing, and that's
Bad
I'm just like,
solution.
because I don't know how. Yeah,
Bad solution. We don't want to completely rule things out. We want to
yeah,
equip
that's what I
ourselves
usually
to
do.
make good decisions in the moment, like being aware of all the variables at play. Okay.
Okay.
So I wouldn't feel good telling you to never fight on waves that are pushing back into you because, like I just explained, right, if we put some pro player's name tag here and we're watch this, I'm sure that you could think, oh, he doesn't want them to crash the wave because his items are better, so this could be a good place to fight. And it can be. If you change how the stats are in the game, this can be a good place to fight in a lot of the times. Maybe Draven can even kill them both here. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to watch
I
it a
do if
couple
I played
times.
it properly for sure, but I also misplayed, and I also went in too deep without Seraphine being able to follow. But
But
I wasn't thinking that. I was literally like, oh, Thresh missed Q and E. I would just go hit. Like my brain just turned off basically.
so
Because
what?
usually as soon as it's shoving into me, I'm like, no, I'm not fighting. Because I've had too many bad experiences where I've thrown like lane after being like 1 or 2-0, and then coming back, dying, and then the game's over.
Okay, this would kind of hold you back. If you think about it like this, it'll limit all of the really good things that you're able to do because not wanting to fight on a wave like this because you have died in the past is like a
Yeah.
fear-based response of
Yeah,
like
I've
this is
literally made a rule like if the wave is slow pushing into me, I will unless I'm gonna get dove and I need to do something to prevent the
Mhm.
dive or to outplay the dive, then I will just let them shove in
Okay.
because it's just gonna ping bog back into me, and I can either slow push it back, or I can thin out the way, or I can like make the wave even again, and then we can reset the lane or whatever. But I will never fight on slow push because I've always died on it. That's like my rule, which is fear based
Okay.
or like
So
it's ruling out completely.
So the question that we want to ask ourselves is how can we know in advance that fighting on this slow pushing wave will be good for us? What things would you have to consider and what things would you have to practice and do properly to make fighting here good?
Item advantage, HP advantage, summoners, knowing where your jungler or enemy jungler at least is.
Okay. So like now we're down to variables. This is really good. Now we have a much more specific goal that requires us to take into account a checklist of conditions to make a decision. This won't completely solve the problem because it's still totally possible you break your hands and die here, but it's way better than where we started. So let's write down some conditions. So how can we know when a trade versus a slow pushing wave is good? So you mentioned that we want to keep in mind jungle position. We want to keep in mind summoner spells, uh, summoner
Items
spell
advantage
availability.
or
Let's just write summoner spells. Sorry. What'd you say? Item
item,
advantage,
yeah,
item and level advantage.
HP mana.
Yep. Uh, resources, HP mana. Um, anything else we need to take into account? Jungler position. You can take into account like teleports as well.
Not really anymore.
Not really
Well,
anymore, but like
yeah, kind of. But like it
post
never
14
happens.
minutes. Like this would not
Yeah.
be in lane. This would not be in
Yeah,
lane.
yeah.
Like this would all apply to
Okay.
other things. So we'll start with just laning stuff. I think this is good.
Mhm.
If you can
Yeah.
every time that you have this slow pushing wave where you come back and you're deciding to fight, if you took into account jungler position, summoner spells, item and level advantages, your resources, uh is there anything else? I feel like I'm missing something, but we'll start here because this whole process is iterative. It means that you're supposed to do this with a couple of conditions, have it work or not work, but review it after it happens so that you can build on the process. So even if you just start with a few conditions, if you're able to do that, you'll build on it because it'll make so much sense that you need to consider something else when it does come up. But the difficult part here is always reviewing it. That's the really hard part that you have to commit to. Oh, do I not have my
Yeah,
thing?
because
Oh,
usually I'll just say, oh yeah, it was slow pushing. I shouldn't have fought. I just don't fight when it's slow pushing. That's like my conclusion usually, for as an example.
okay.
And I'm pretty sure I win that if I play it correctly.
I think so too. Yeah. But whether you win or you lose it, I think you should value a lot less. But I
Loser
think
should value it
what you
most.
need to value is that you're going through this checklist of conditions before you make the decision so that you are someone who's practicing making higher quality decisions. This is what you want to be doing. You want to be practicing taking into account all the variables.
Okay.
And then once you do that and you feel like you've made, at least according to the things that you said that you're going to do, like you've written down that I'm going to take into account these things, if you get
Uh-huh.
to that point and then you break your hands, then it will look very clear. Oh, I knew that all these things were happening, and I walked up to this guy and I dropped my axes because I suck at Draven. Okay? And then the solution is super clear. Then it's these things are not the problem. Now I know exactly what the issue is. I have to focus. Now our new problem is that my Draven mechanics suck,
Yeah.
right? And now we have this whole path towards improving that was all spawned from just asking a simple question about how can we know when a trade versus slow pushing wave is good. So asking this question and actually reviewing it and pushing towards the idea of improving at that idea leads you to, okay, I can't always know if a trade is good because my mechanics are too bad. Because I've correctly identified this, because I'm honest with myself. I actually took into account jungler position, summoner spells, item and level advantage, resources, and I dropped an axe, and that's the reason why I didn't win. Uh, so now,
What if it's like how for example you can say it's your turn or you're not your turn or like it's the enemy's turn. That's what I usually do as well, where I'm like, oh, it's they're slow pushing, it's their turn. So when it's my turn and I'm like in control of the wave, then I'll start doing things. But right now, since it's their turn, I have no autonomy, so I won't do anything. If that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense, but it will really limit you because
Okay.
just like you're agreeing with
Because
me that
it's a
that
lot
you
more
will kill them
nuanced
there.
than that. Yeah.
Then why can you kill them during their turn? Because when you have Hydra versus that Samira, you told me that if you have better mechanics, she'll die. So this
Yeah.
rule isn't always true. If just because they have a wave, just because it's their turn, what makes it their turn? Right? Is the
Yeah.
wave the thing that makes it their turn? Is it
Hmm.
the items? Is it like the jungler position? It has to be all of these things together that decides, right, whose turn it is. So you're right that if it's their turn, you shouldn't fight them, but how you decide if it's their turn or not, if they have the choice to fight you or to kill you or to be stronger than you, is based on these conditions.
Yeah.
Or
I
the
understand.
mechanics of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with this now.
Cool.
It's just getting it in your head because it's easier to just
Yeah.
say, it's their
Yes.
turn, I won't
Yes.
fight. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But you have to
Like
be able to like
as an
calculate
example,
what
if you
it
look at
means.
this, so as an example, would I mean it's better to take responsibility, but in my head I didn't realize that Wukong had fast base because he has Herald. So I was like, okay,
Mhm.
Wukong's still here. So it's okay. I can like hard bait a fight. As soon as we see Yon, I'm like, okay, it's okay. Wukong will cancel his base. And then I realized, oh shit, he's not here. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try and catch out. I'm
Oh
just gonna try
my
and cash out. And then
god.
yeah. I listen, this is my first game in like 3 weeks of Draven or something. That's my excuse for being really bad at Draven.
It's okay, Rapstar. I let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. What's happening here?
It ended up being okay because I killed Renekton, but I shouldn't have killed Renekton, I think. Or I literally didn't even know my damage. Because I think if I just dodge Threshook, I can just literally like, walk into him and then flash away from Renekton.
Okay, Rapstar. I want you to care less about
Okay.
how about like what I think of you in this moment, right? Like it's
Okay.
okay that it's your first game of Draven. I want you to not pay attention to this as much. This is not a very intuitive thing. It will take like practice to do this. But I want you to be focused on what you need to do to make higher quality decisions instead of anything else. And I
Okay.
think you will improve focused on goals that you set for yourself that are based in
Okay.
conditions on how to improve. Uh,
Okay.
whew.
Okay. So like, how would I break this one down? Because I literally thought Wukong was here, so this was just like, oh, I didn't realize that he has Herald.
Wukong is Herald and he bases.
Yeah, yeah. Because in my head, I was completely fine. Seraphine will have ult. Wukong will have ult soon, but it's probably like 20, 30 seconds. I probably mistimed that. And then I'm like, oh shit, he's not here. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try and get cash out.
Well, why didn't you see him?
Well, I noticed late. I didn't realize, like, right here, I'm like, okay, he started basing 7 seconds. It's chill. And then as soon as we see Yon, wait, yeah, he had Herald back, I'm pretty sure. I'm like
I don't even know if he had
99%
Herald
sure.
back.
I am. Wait, he
No,
did not have Herald back. Bruh. Okay. Why did it? Okay, I thought he would have canceled because I'm staying in lane. Holy shit.
okay, but we
I thought
have
he
to.
had Herald. Okay.
Yes, he doesn't. It's just 7 seconds passes. But
Dude, what the fuck? Okay. I thought he would have canceled it.
we're left with the same question. What can you do so that you are more active in seeing where your teammates are? So like I ran into this problem too, and my solution was to hit F keys as fast as possible until I could see every character at around the same time. And then if I still don't see somebody, I try to think about what I can do to be more aware about them. Like if I need to be on like a faster rhythm of checking for my teammate's position, if
I think that was just really tunneled on like trying to force a fight. I think that was what happened in this example.
mm, but if you're
So
focused on creating a fight, then one of the conditions that's going to be really important for you starting a fight is your jungler's position. So this has to be something that you're like constantly checking.
Wait, I don't know.
So here's another thing.
Hmm?
Trying to improve takes a lot more focus, I think, than trying to win. I think if I'm trying to improve, every moment is a struggle to play better than the last. But if I'm trying to win, a lot of times I can just go even and win.
Yes, I agree.
So, what it means is that if you want to be in a similar position to like this game, for example, and pay closer attention to like where Wukong is, or your conditions to start a fight, or your conditions to win a fight, or what you want to do in that moment, I think you're going to have to put more of your mental energy and your focus towards that game, which will probably mean a couple of things because you're not going to be able to do this all the time, and you're not going to be able to like play 20 games a day all at the same level of focus, right? For me, I can only really focus for a few hours of the day. Uh, I don't know if anyone has like really focused on something for like 8 hours, but I don't know how the fuck people can actually do that. I think I know a couple people who can just seemingly focus for like as long as they want, right? But I don't feel like I can do that. So I take a lot of breaks uh, when I'm just playing by myself. If I stream, obviously I have to like play and play and play. But for you, Rabstar, you just want to improve. I think this is what I would want your goals to be. That you just want to improve. So I think you should play probably a little bit less. Because how many games do you play a day? I should be asking you. Sorry.
To be honest, I don't even know. Like lately, like the last 2 days, they maybe like 5 games, which isn't that much.
5?
But before that, I was playing like 10 to 15, including plus I work.
Okay,
So
well, five works fine for this. I'm sure I'm confident that you can play 5 games focusing a lot.
easily,
Okay.
yeah.
But because your goals exist outside of just winning and climbing right now, you need to take the games that you play. You need to get value out of every game that you play by focusing on what's going well and what's going poorly and how do you fix the things that are going poorly. So it'll probably be a little bit more draining because it'll take a lot more out of you to be
Because you're being
able,
a lot more analytic, right?
because
About like
for you
the
to
reasons
be
why you're
able to
winning.
see that Wukong there, it's going to take more focus.
Okay,
It's going to take you to be at a point where you can think about what it takes for us to fight here and then noticing a condition changing. Now, it won't always be like this. If you practice it enough, it'll get to the point where it doesn't take all of your focus, and then you'll be able to play a bunch of games thinking about these conditions and trying to do it better. But there can always be another step to it where you play a little bit less, you focus more on every game because you have specific, well-intentioned goals about what you're going to do to improve.
okay.
Okay. I think my brain's frying.
So, okay, okay. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna open up what we talked about, or
Yeah.
what the messages I sent you. Do you see my setup, by the way? What do you think?
Uh, it's pretty good. It's better than
What?
some of my setups, actually. Some of my
Really?
setups, yeah, some of my setups were worse than this.
Yeah. Hold on.
But these are like 10 year. Those are like when I was like 10 years old. My setup was worse than this. I. It's pretty bad. I just looked at it again. It's pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say, yeah. So most of the people that you see that are generally that climb up very fast, they usually play a few champions, right?
Yep.
Because that way they're playing the game, not the champs.
Mhm.
Um, and then usually they'll just play the champs that they find fun, right? So what I'll usually do is I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna play like these two champs, right? Um, so as an example, I'll play Lucian and Ezreal, or I'll play Lucian and Kalista or something, for example.
Mhm.
And then I'll play like I'll have games where let's say if I lose, then I'm like, okay, fuck Lucian. This champ is shit. And even if I'm like 10-0, I'm like, okay, like fuck this champ. If I played Ezreal or something like with more range or with more scaling, it would have been a easier way to win.
Okay,
But
but
then it's focusing on the win thing, like you said before.
yes, you're just excusing yourself from the responsibility of the loss because of the champion that you were playing. But when the game started, right, I'm sure you believed when you loaded into the game that there was some way you could win with that champion. Or maybe you weren't thinking about it at all, but maybe you should think about like how you're going to win with the champion that you're playing. Like what you're going to do with the champion you picked to actually lead to a winning outcome. Uh,
And is your
Let me think.
so do
So,
do you go into it when you're in champ select with the idea to win, or uh to improve at specific things? Because the champion allows you to do that easier. I mean, it's a bit more cookie cutter with AD, but does that question make sense?
okay, let me write down what you're saying. I'm forgetting pieces of what you're saying, and I think I trolled you. So you played Lucian. You picked
Yeah.
Lucian. Let me make a new bar here. I'm gonna fix these notes for you, Rabstar. Okay,
Okay.
let me stop talking.
Thank you.
Okay, so we picked Lucian, and you said that the
Yeah.
game didn't go well. What happened in the game as Lucian?
I went like 10-0.
And then you lost?
I lost either solo laners trolled or as in trolled as in the she went AFK, which is whatever. But I'll still be like, oh, if I didn't play Lucian, if I played a more scaling champ, then maybe they'd be more incentivized to play because they're like, okay, we win late game. You know what I mean?
Okay, here it is. It's that if you're okay, this is how you identify that something went wrong. If we're going 10-0 on Lucian and we still lost the game, there should be value in the events that led up to you losing the game. Because we could reason that really good players from that position could probably win the game. So, because of the outcome of the game, we can work backwards from that point to find what actually separates you from somebody who's like playing the game as good as possible, or right, some ideal.
Wait, this is the game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know if I need to zoom in here.
Yeah, so this is the sign that there is a specific goal that you could get out of this game that would really help you improve. Is because of the outcome of the game. If you were 10-0 and now you're 11-6, what happened that was so bad in this game that we couldn't win after you were in such a great position?
Uh,
Okay, this is how it we're using the outcome of the game not as our focus, but we're using it as a tool to find out what the problems are. This is how we're led very easily to see that there are big problems in this game because of the outcome.
I think this game. Yeah.
Okay, you have it up. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's 10-3. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wait, where should I go from? Okay, so I'm 7-1. I think I just died one time to like Thresh. Or no, I died one time when I roamed mid. Because I got hooked by Thresh because he hit in Fog of War. I just didn't respect it. Wait, okay. Yeah, no, this I died the second time literally the same way.
Wait, where's your first death? Sorry. Whoa, what the fuck? Go to.
Yeah, okay, wait. Let me find the first death. Okay. In my head, I'm like, okay, it's a free win. We just need to close out. We get every dragon. We have 2 dragons right now. Or like we have 1 dragon, I think. We just get 4 dragons. They can't contest. Kallista's not a champion. Garen was really fed, but I was like, it's okay. He can never get onto me unless he like flanks me or something. Oh, yeah. He missed every single hook in lane, and then he hits this one. Get cancer in game.
Okay, go back. Okay, what makes this happen? Again, this is not. We have to review this not because the fact that you died made it an inherently bad decision to go for in the first place, but what led to your death.
Eating Thresh hook or not reacting to Thresh hook with Gale Force.
Okay, so we'll go back.
Because I knew I can always dodge it. Because even if I E in, I have another dash. but I just didn't react in time.
Okay, so
Plus, I
okay.
didn't think he would actually hit it in the right place.
This has happened to me a lot before because I also have bad mechanics. So things that I'll look for to try to have better mechanics in spots like this, because I don't have like zoomer reaction time, is pause when he starts his hook.
Wait, I
If
can't pause, dude. Okay,
sorry,
wait.
sorry, Rabstar. That's
Sorry,
that's
sorry,
chill.
sorry.
It's
No,
fine.
it's my fault.
Oh, now you're sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when I'm playing in a position like this, the only way that I feel like I'm going to consistently and reliably react to Thresh's hook is if my eyes are resting entirely on him. And then when he charges his hook, I'm going to Gale Force to the left, and if he hits me, he's too good. And then I'll review from that point, because maybe I should Gale Force away from him and have the bullet still hit him somehow. I'll probably start from the left though. And if this guy hits me, maybe the Thresh players have evolved and they're just way too good now. But the moment that he locks in his cast to Death Sentence is when I would try to react. I would be a little bit late because my reaction time is like 0.3 seconds or something. 0.3 to 0.5. So I would like be a little slow on this. His hook would probably come out and then I would Gale Force. But ideally, because lots of people can get to a point where they have much better mechanics than me, ideally we try to see the angle where Thresh hook goes out and then respond to that with Gale Force. But a step in the right direction, right? Something that you have to do no matter what, is you have to look at Thresh the entire time so that you know when he starts his Q.
This is death number 2. I get what you mean. In my brain, it was he didn't hit a single hook in lane, so there's no shot that he will like hit a hook ever.
But Rabstar, your conclusion is that this guy sucks, so he'll miss. You want the conclusion to
Yeah.
be better than that. You want the conclusion to be this guy can't hit me because I'm too good at League of Legends. Not that this guy
Oh.
sucks so that he just won't hit me, a regular player. No, I actually see Thresh Hook and I can dodge it because I'm good at the game.
Okay.
That's a better conclusion.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to think because I never think like this. Okay. Did you see this stuff, by the way?
No, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I didn't watch it
Okay.
yet.
I know Thresh is here, but I didn't think he would be here.
He's
No, I didn't think he would be like over here. Okay.
yeah,
You'll see what I
I
mean.
understand.
I thought he'd be like
I
over
understand.
on the left side of the tower.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll have space to like do something. Apparently, he's just mad life on meth.
Oh my god, Ref.
He hits 0 hooks in lanes, and then he hits every hook after.
Alright. This one's a little bit harder because he hooked you from fog. So we
Yeah.
would talk about vision there, where look at the pink word that you cleared.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Does
see
Nami
Thresh is here,
scan?
and he's on the left side. So I was like, okay, he's just gonna chill. Look, he's basing. I'm like, okay, he's gonna either be basing or he's gonna stay there.
Okay, but look at where you're standing.
Yeah.
Don't you think you could be on a ward right now?
No, because we just cleared the ward.
Did you scan it?
Oh, you think there's another ward?
There
No, we
could
didn't
be.
scan it. I think we did scan it before, but I don't
But
know.
this one's a little bit harder because this guy hooks you from fog.
Yeah.
So
See, he's the goat.
it doesn't feel like I'm completely telling you what to do with foresight because
See, he missed another hook.
I'm not 100% sure if that path is totally safe or not all the time. I have to look at this one a little bit more and think about it a little bit more to know exactly what you would have to do with foresight. Probably watch like the last minute of the game.
Okay.
Okay, go to your next death.
Oh,
Gotta
no.
figure out how you die.
Every single time I've died in mid. Oh no. Okay, well,
Someone in
yeah.
chat
Okay,
saying
this
that you
is.
should just take the safer path, but that's not always true. Sometimes you get
Oh, I
value
could take
from
the
not
safer
taking the
path,
safer
but I
path.
wanted to kill them.
Yeah, but sometimes like you can kill the Callista there, and it's actually good. So
Yeah.
we're trying to build a condition so that you don't always just have to take the safer path because you might die. We're trying to build a condition so you can make like an educated decision on what you should do and why and when.
Okay, here. Okay, so
Exactly,
I
try to do it in that
I want to
instance.
blame Nami. It's Nami's fault, not my fault that I died here. Okay, because we killed top lane, Ornn TP'd, and then Ornn
Okay,
bases to go bot.
okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
I need to explain
I'm
why this is not my fault and
oh,
it's Nami's fault.
oh, Rabstar. Oh, we
Okay, okay,
gotta
okay.
knock it off. Oh.
So we killed Silas top lane, and Nami's basing in top river, even though she's full everything. She
Mhm.
doesn't have wards, but there's no dragon coming up, so we don't really need it, right? Okay, so they fight, they kill. Okay, fine. Why is she going? Okay, what? Okay, she's clearing a ward. Maybe it's not her fault.
Oh, no.
Yeah, look, no. Why is she going to get the tower? Come here. It's her fault.
Are you dead on this wave?
Yeah, I die on this wave. Garen comes. I didn't
Okay.
think of Garen. And then Callista actually played well. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
All right, Rabstar. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is so your fault. But it
Oh? Okay, no,
but
I'm
it's
joking. But like, yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I didn't think Garen would come, and I also didn't think uh that they would do this. I thought they would think that Nami's like with me,
Hmm.
so then they wouldn't commit this hard. I had no
Okay.
idea where anyone is, so I should have
Okay.
just chilled.
Okay. Okay.
I
But
should have
here's
just chilled.
something I can help you work with. So this will also go for the last one where we're taking the dangerous path. Is that before every midwave, you want to try to make a plan for what you will do if you push the midwave and decide if that's valuable. Because a lot of times, what I think is going to happen, and I think there's a lot of ways this game where that did happen, is whenever you push a midwave, if you sit there in the middle of mid and wait for the next midwave, you might not be very useful having pushed that
Yeah.
midwave, right? And there's other
Yeah.
times where you try to push the midwave and you die. And there's also other times where you push the midwave and you go to a side lane and get the kill. So
Yeah.
there's more to the midwave than just getting push on it every time. You want to be the person who makes the right assessment of how valuable that specific midwave is and tries to allocate the right resources towards it. If you can do this better, then not only will you probably not die on that wave where Nami isn't there because you'll be aware of it, that Nami isn't there because you're taking into account all the conditions that are happening. But you'll also be aware that this midwave probably isn't that valuable anyway. So if I wait one midwave for Nami to show up, there's nothing horrible is going to happen. It's going to be okay. She's not on the one midwave, and I know that because I'm trying to take into account the value of the midwave. And the midwave isn't that valuable, so it's okay that she's not there.
Okay.
Uh,
In my head, I
yeah.
summarized this as it wasn't my turn.
But how do you know
Which
that it's
is
not
it?
your turn?
Because look, because
I'm saying that response to yourself isn't a solution.
yes, I agree with this. Because it's literally just saying black and white kind of things.
Yeah, it's saying that, oh, that was wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you fucking died. Of course that's wrong.
Yeah. And it's too simple of a kind of conclusion
Yeah,
based
it
on
doesn't
like the
it
result of what
doesn't
happened.
move you anywhere. You don't go from any sort of
Okay.
point A to point B. You go from point A to getting upset at the game. Because it
Yes, true.
wasn't your turn, but there's no solution. So fuck Nami. She wasn't on the
Okay.
midwave.
Okay. Okay.
We got this, Rabstar. You're gonna do it.
Okay.
You're
I
gonna be so
understand. I
fucking. You're
understand.
gonna
I
be so
understand.
fucking good, Rabstar. Okay, you got this. You're
I
gonna
get
do
what you mean.
this.
Okay. Wait. My next step? After this, I'm pretty sure if I die like one more time, by the way, the game's like completely fucked. Oh, okay, wait, never mind. I won't blame team. It's my fault.
Why is it your fault?
Because I didn't ping Hecarim.
Okay, well,
Look,
hold on, hold on.
oh, look.
What do
So
you
we
mean
have
you didn't
Herald.
ping him?
We have Herald. Okay, Dragon's coming up in like 20 seconds. Yeah. Diana is tough with Ignite, not TP. Okay. Hecarim's. It's 2v1. She's dead. She's dead. No, Hecarim, please. It's my fault for not pinging it. We get Dragon, but then we lose Baron. And then the game's like really fucked.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Because I'm the
Okay.
only one with kills, I think, on my team.
Okay.
Or like
Okay.
the only fed one.
Okay. Rabstar, go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back.
Okay.
It's not. It's. Sorry. Okay. How we want to approach this, we want solutions, okay? We want to identify different behaviors in yourself that would reliably lead to better outcomes. So I think you could ping this guy 15 times and there is no fucking guarantee that Hecarim inputs any click differently or has any second thought. He might have you muted for all you know, okay?
Yeah,
This
true.
is not a solution. It's not a guaranteed solution here. So the solution has to come from within. It has to come from yourself, the thing that you have to do better. So you have to ask yourself, okay, my Hecarim went top and I can't control that. And if my main focus is trying to control that, I'm just going to hate my jungler for the rest of my life. If instead I focus on what I could do differently here, what if instead of killing Dragon, you pushed the mid wave and then walked left? Do you think you could have stopped them from doing Baron? Go back.
No. Because Zed and Silas are here, I'll assume they both used ult because Hecarim also died. Thresh, I have no idea, but I didn't look. So Thresh, I will assume, will have ult.
I don't
But
know.
then Kalista will have ult. And also, if we go into a 3v5 with Garen on our ass, I'm pretty sure I'll get fisted. No?
Garen probably behind you, yeah.
Yeah. So in my head, it was just like, okay, get Dragon. Baron
Look at
is
that. Look
gone.
at the frame where you look at them in top again, because this is the only information you get.
Yeah, literally. No. Fuck. Okay. Hold on.
It's fine. You got this, Rabstar.
I
It might
don't
be
have.
right. It might be right that the best play is to get the dragon, but I want your approach to not be pinging this guy was the only answer and I didn't do it, because that's not a real solution and that's only going to lead you to like feeling
I literally
shitty
say
about things
that.
that are
I'm
out of your
like,
control.
in my head, I'm literally like, I should have just spamming them and written
So,
go Dragon. That was what I
yes,
should have done.
I don't know if right now
Yeah, okay, this is
maybe you
such a useless
can't.
frame that I look at.
Oh wait, Hecarim still fights someone dies. Okay, go to when Hecarim
Yeah,
kills himself here.
I didn't look at all.
When
I didn't
Hecarim
want to.
goes in here and dies. Fuck. I don't know if you can. It's 3v5. It's
Especially if
really
Kalista
hard.
has R and then Garen
Yeah.
is behind me. And Garen is like 8-0, by the way.
Yeah.
He's level 15. I can't do anything until I get LDR.
Mm-hmm. And frames like this can help you with a lot of different solutions. Okay, so the first thing is, oh, if I push mid instead of doing the dragon, can I stop them? Okay, no. Why can't I stop them? Is it because it's like 3v5, or maybe if I had summoner spells I could have stopped them, and then you go back to the last time you used your flash. Like, was the last time I used my flash really valuable, or should I be saving it for the next time dragon spawns in case there's a situation like this, for example? There's so many things you can leap back to that will all funnel towards you improving, that have nothing that is entirely reliant on your teammates, because that you don't have any control
Yeah,
over this.
you can't control other people, yeah. And so look, yeah. I think I die here. Do I? No, I don't. Do I? No, I don't. But we can't get anything. Yeah, so we kill and then we just basically reset. Wait, let me find next death.
Mm.
Because after this, Garen was like level 17 or something. And then Zed had like 4 items. Okay. Play slow, Garen jumps into us and tanks all 5 of us. It's so fucking doomed. I missed a lot of my ult though. I played that fight really badly.
How do you think you could have played it better?
So Garen jumps over. I ulted late, and then I missed a lot of my ult. I could have dashed left instead of to the right, like down here, to the left towards Nami, and then I can probably just either punt dashing with Nami and kite Zed, and that'll force him away, or I can kite back up,
Okay.
and I'm on this angle.
Yeah, watch it one more
But
time. Look at
I
like the
don't think I
damage.
have any. I don't think I have enough damage, by the way.
That's fine. That's not what we're looking for. Again, we're not sitting here trying to find the perfect way to win the team fight. We're trying to find the best way
Oh,
to play the team fight. So
okay.
so what do you think would be the best outcome for me playing this team fight? How do you think like thematically you play a team fight well?
I do as much
Like
damage as possible while getting, like, being on the edge of like all of their major cooldowns
I
and not
think
dying.
we can definitely start with this from an AD carry perspective, right? Is that I want
Yeah,
to deal as much damage as possible while not dying. So I want to
yeah,
maximize my damage that I deal to the opponents, and I want to limit the damage that the opponents can do to me. Now,
yeah.
again, not always going to be totally true because a lot of times we're going to not deal absolute maximum damage if like you go for a kill on somebody, but killing that person is more valuable because of how it changes the fight afterwards. But we can start with this condition. I want to deal as much damage as possible, and I want to limit the damage in some proportion that I have to define that the opponents are going to deal to me. So the thing that you would look for in that fight is how can I position so that I'm still not totally in threat, but I'm always in a range to deal damage. If
Yeah,
I'm always in
yeah.
a reasonable range to deal damage in this fight, but they can't kill me, then I can probably kill the Garen. There will be a point though where you have to take damage, so there has to be some proportion where you're willing to get hit by a spell or walk into somebody's range to deal damage because you have to find a point where that's actually better than just staying safe. But that's a whole different condition. I guess we're dead.
Nope.
Nothing.
I'd love to 2 HP. By the way, is LDR better or Cyrilda? I went Cyrilda because I wanted CDR, but I have no idea. Man, I can't play the game against level 16 Zed. I couldn't get any levels. Like,
Oh,
he has 3 items. Garen is level 18. I can't
uh,
get any levels because I can't move anywhere without 3 people coming.
from my limited Lucian information, that you would rather have Cyrildas depending on your role in the fight, right? So if,
Yeah, in my head, I can't fight anyone. So,
but
I
then
don't
it's
know.
Cyrildas because you're ult.
Yeah.
But this is what we're trying to see as well. What we're trying to see is it possible for you to get better uptime on your damage? And if it can, like if you can be autoing the entire time without dying, then I think LDR would be better.
I
But it
agree,
looks like
but I don't
against
think I
this
can.
Zed, you're getting one shot by him.
They're dashing too much. Zed is dashing onto me. Silas is ignoring everyone. Callistic and Presso are. And they have always flanks because they have full map control. Wait, hold on. If I pause here, I'm pretty sure this game is doomed. But then the outcome is still winning or losing.
Oh my god, Rabstar. It's fine.
Fuck,
You'll
dude,
get
it's so
this.
hard because
You'll
this
get
is all I've
this.
like implanted in my head.
Yeah, I
So
think you're
then,
really incentivized by like the game to think this way. Um,
yes,
but
plus
I think it
community.
makes a
I'm pretty sure
horrible
everyone.
relationship with the game. I think that
Yeah,
I think you just lose all your humanity and like, oh, my jungler sucks. Like, go next to everybody, report him, and this guy sucks. And the whole focus is on why somebody else is bad, not how you can become better. So
yes. This is also community as well.
So I don't think it's very
Yeah.
productive, and I think people get stuck in a loop that they don't come out of improved.
Yes.
I think they come out the other side of this worse when the whole focus is on why somebody else made their life harder or their life worse, when it could be
Yeah.
about what you could have done to like take control of it and make it good.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, Rapstar. I'm gonna work
Okay.
on some notes for you. Okay. I saw
Okay.
that you took some notes too.
Yeah.
I think
My
I
last
think.
notes are black and white is bad. My
Oh
note
my god.
taking is so bad. Oh my
Okay,
god.
I agree. Absolutes are a limited form of reasoning, right?
Yeah.
If we only reason in the form of absolutes, right, it's hard to play a game as unique and nuanced as League of Legends. It's hard to play that game really well. Uh,
Mhm.
so we should try to talk in terms of what conditions allow me to do the things that are valuable in the game, instead of what rules can I make for myself so that I limit the amount of thought I have to go through to make a choice. Something along those lines. But I will write you some notes so that you can focus on what you need to do to improve, and I'll try to lay out some of those things. And send me a couple of these VODs, or send me the link to the Twitch. I think this is a Twitch VOD.
Yeah, yeah.
Send me the link to
Also,
this Twitch VOD.
do you think Neela is strong? I
I
really want to
haven't
play
seen
Neela,
I
but
haven't
this
seen
champion
any Neela,
feels
but
so. It feels like you have no autonomy half the time, unless you're all inning with like levels.
I haven't seen Neela without Yumi or at all in like solo queue recently. How did you do in
Yeah,
this
no,
game?
nobody, literally nobody plays her. Uh, okay. I nearly died level one. It's because my brain is like, oh, I'm playing like a low range champ. I should have it all in because stupid brain. I did,
But
yeah. So I
your
didn't die.
champion like functions fundamentally differently than other champs where you
Yes,
level up faster.
yes, exactly. But yeah, I'm stupid.
So if you're on an even wave and you kill like you're near level up on an even wave and
Yeah,
you kill minions, you always you have times like this over and over.
yes.
Like don't you hit
But
level
that's
6?
but I've only thought about this like I've only played this champ like 5-10 games. I think
Okay.
it's literally I'm not used to it. Like I
I
hit level 2
think
and I'm like, what the fuck? I should have already been like, going in.
yeah, I think you hit 6 off like the 11th wave. You hit level 6 at like 6:30.
Uh,
At this game
what I
we've already died.
yeah. And when I did hit level 6, I leveled E accidentally. uh, but it's okay. But the thing is, I did no damage this game. This game, I was literally just engaged. Wait, I'll show you just at the end. Because the champion
Mhm.
literally just feels like, unless you can snowball. When you get team at, by the way, I think it's like really, really strong. Because it's a melee champ. So your team at, you literally one-shot waves.
Mm.
Um, Hold on.
Are you a melee champ? You are?
Yeah, Neela counts as a melee champ, yeah. She is a melee champ,
Sick.
unless you hit
Even
your
when you
Q.
land your Q,
When you land your Q, you have like 350 range.
but you're a melee champ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sick. She's so good with Avenus Hydra.
Yeah, Ravenous, and then you can go Death Dance and shit like
Yeah,
that.
Death Dance too. Yeah, that sounds good.
Wait, where was the fight? I played one fight really, really nicely. Maybe it was this? No, it was not this. Okay, I cannot. Oh, do you think you can go okay, so my friend, he goes Mythic
Mhm.
Navori. He skips Ravenous completely. He goes Mythic Navori.
Mhm.
And then he either just builds cloaks because he's like, I don't care about like, the 60%. Because I don't care about like the actual like hitting that much. But it gives you CDR and it gives you like bonus damage on your abilities.
Yeah.
So the Q smack does more damage, and that's the main damage of Neela.
Yeah.
And then you get CDR on your W and E, which is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. I think having your E is really long cooldown too, right? So all the CDR is really impactful on the
Yeah,
E,
it's like yeah, W
and
and
your
E
W
have
is insane
similar
spell.
cooldown. Yeah, especially when you can put it on allies. You can like stagger it
Yeah.
on your allies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
uh,
keep playing Neela, especially if you enjoy her. Keep playing Neela.
yeah, I think she's like actually like really strong. It's just you have to play in a specific way, and you can't play her all the games. Like I think
Yeah.
if you're against like Caitlyn or something, you're not playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, Rabstar. I'm gonna write you up
okay.
some notes, and I'll
Thank you
send
very
them to
much.
you. Send me this VOD so I can look through some of the games, because I'll write a
Yeah,
couple other goals.
yeah. I'll send you the links. There's like a few. I'll send you.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
And I'll
Thank you
send
very
you
much.
this VOD. Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
Cool. All right. Love you. Bye bye. Yep.